We're back with game number 2 of Alliance versus Mouzsport. Mouzsport really flat out of the gate. Perhaps it was a draft, perhaps it was play, and maybe a combination of both, but they cannot give away Alliance 3 of their best heroes and expect to win. They ban one of them, they take up another one of them, and hopefully the game's going to go a little bit better. I'm Luminous, I'm joined by Merlini for this Beyond the Summit presentation. Merlini, game 1, I think there's not much needed to be said. What about game 2 with Alliance quickly picking up Magnus and the quote-unquote counter Rubik? Mouzsport picking up Life Stealer as always.
Yep, and let's see. Alliance actually bans out Nature's Prophet. Again, Nature's Prophet just floats anywhere in between like first ban phase to like second pick phase. Just really wild in terms of where he belongs in each team's banning phase. But yeah, we see it again, an early puck pick by Mouzsport. Not that I think they're overrating the hero. It's just a little bit unusual.
Yeah, I mean, Fada definitely proved it with his play that, you know, in that mid tower where he almost took down 3 heroes with the double damage rune. And you talked about the importance of having puck disrupting the Magnus on the bloodline, back line. And all those team fights, even though they were outgunned, they were out items, his initiation was always good. Like, he dropped 2-3-man Dream Coil, was able to do some Rainy Rifts, but it wasn't enough. And I think in this game, there's going to be a big difference. Black could be a lot more survivable with the puck, and they could actually be a lot more offensive to initiate with the Life Stealer. Are we going to see the good old S4 TA mid and Magnus on the long lane?
Ooh, I would like to see that. So, I mean, Mouzsport is not giving up the same heroes they were last game. Banning the Lone Druid very first, I think is a very smart move, especially against Admiral Bulldog, one of the West's best Lone Druids, and taking Life Stealer for themselves. So, Alliance won't have that all-star lineup that they had last game. That lineup was just super well-rounded, very good at pushing, laning, late game, ganking, just a little bit of everything. And Mouse looks like they are fighting back with a quite strong draft themselves. Life Stealer, puck, and keep the light.
Yeah, I really like the Phantom Lancer ban. I think against most other teams, you don't have to be too afraid of the Keeper PL combo. Like we kind of pointed out before, teams are getting more adept at playing against this. But against Black, against Mouzsport, maybe you still deserve a ban here. And you can see that most of Black's heroes being banned out. Sure, there's a Life Stealer, and Black could be playing that, but there's a very easy chance for Mouzsport to go offensive trialing with it and just leave Black solo on the bot lane, because that's definitely a possibility as well.
So Alliance has banned 2 of Black's favorite farming heroes, PL and Alchemist. So I'm curious to see what they will ban third. Shadow Demon is still in the pool, so if they wanted to do like an AMSD kind of thing, that is still available. Although that means they would have to solo the Life Stealer, make their lanes a little bit awkward. So let's see what kind of strategy they are going for. There is still a Gyrocopter in the pool in case Alliance wants to get another damage dealer, which is not a bad idea at all.
Yeah, Loda has a very interesting Gyrocopter build, both skilled and item. He loves to max out a homing missile. Definitely chase supports off the lane quite nicely and deal bulk low damage. He'd like to put his Gyrocopter a little bit more HP oriented as well, getting an SMY for example, getting that drums, getting the Ethereal Blade. But I'm getting too ahead of myself here as we don't even see a Gyrocopter picked or banned just yet. We might see Alliance just straight up ban Gyro as, you know, that's the hero that Black played last game.
And we see last ban from Mouzsport's Chen, so they are not giving Aki his Chen. And yep, it is a Gyrocopter ban. So in terms of carries left, I mean, neither team really needs a carry at this point. They have like pretty good damage dealers, but these aren't like the super hard carries that we see a lot of teams pick up. Life Stealer and TA that are like they're good most of the game, but they're not they don't scale super well with items like PA or Gyro or PL. So I don't know if Alliance will go a 2 carry strat.
Yeah, Darkster's going to get the pickup here, which is going to give him a very reliable way to deal with that refraction should they ever want to gank it. Going to give them some decent team fights. So with Wall, with Dream Coil, Vacuum, and of course Life Stealer in the middle of things, pretty decent team fight. A little bit innate synergy with the Dream Coil Blinding Light, pushes everybody out for that coil stun. So very well-rounded lineup here in Mouzsport, and I feel that they're in a decent position, not nearly as outdrafted as they were in game 1.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I'm liking their lineup a whole lot more than the first game.
Yep, mobility all of the map being provided by the recall, the blinks of the puck, and of course surges and whatnot. Alliance maybe they're a little bit weaker in terms of the draft. They still have decent lanes though. Templar Assassin and Magnus will provide you that. I wonder what the carry is. Again, Loda loves this DK, which okay against Life Stealer. We've seen Dragon Knight twice already by Team Liquid today. What else does he play? He loves his anti-mage. He plays Void from time to time. we'll see. It feels like whatever carry he picks up, though, it's gonna lack the synergy that, for example, they had in draft number 1. And your guess is as good as mine. What that carry might be.
Yeah, I think Void would be a pretty good hero. It works very well with RP. That Empower buff would be huge, and it gets rid of a lot of the difficult to kill heroes like Lifestealer and Puck. They're both very useless if caught by a Chronosphere because Puck is not tanky at all. He really relies on his elusiveness with Blink, with Illusory Orb, and with Phase Shift, and Chronosphere can just take all those out of the equation. And especially with Meld from Templar Assassin, they have the option to do Roche very early, although they are not on Dire side this game. So Anti-Mage will be the carry of choice for Alliance.
Yeah, and Anti-Mage has this kind of negative conception of, hey, he's a weak hero, he doesn't do much early game, but with the right lineup, Mana Break hurts quite a bit. It gives you like plus 40 damage if you max it by 7, and that's a ton of damage. Also, in terms of a straight matchup, if let's say Lifestealer and Anti-Mage ends up on being the same lane, couple mana burn and Lifestealer is suddenly a killable hero. So even though Anti-Mage seems weak early on, he's actually pretty offensive if you want to play it so, and Loda sometimes do. So we'll see exactly what mood Loda is in the day. If, let's say, this was a Void pick, I'm going to predict Jakiro for the last support simply because there's a ton of AoE to synergize very well with each other. Since this is AM, I wonder if it's going to be SD, just give him a little bit more late game protection. If he gets jumped on by an early Waning Rift, for example, you could disrupt him, wait out the silence, and blink away. But we'll see what the last support is for Alliance.
Yeah, I think a Shadow Demon would work very well. However, they are severely lacking on stuns and lockdown for this Anti-Mage. Yeah. Unless they get a Scythe of Ice on the Puck or an Abyss on Lifestealer, both like possible items, but you're not going to get them until like 25-30. But again, Shadow Demon doesn't really provide any stun. I think it's a very good hero versus Anti-Mage, but if they want to shut down this Anti-Mage early, I think they do need a sort of reliable stun. Dream Coil is very short. He can just blink out of it. And Puck is generally not too great versus Anti-Mage just because he has so much spell resistance versus Puck's mostly magical arsenal.
Yeah, another support of choice for Alliance. EGM could be playing his Windrunner. That's one of his go-to support hero. Gives them some decent farm in the mid game. And somehow they're going to pick with the SD, which again, give you the early game ganks, but they got to find some lockdown. We might see a very quick blink into an Orchid from Puck, or maybe even an Orchid first from Lifestealer. I think we saw it today in the EG series, Team Liquid series, which, by the way, if you just tuned in and didn't see that best of 3, it was one of the better best of 3. It was back and forth, really good game. But now we're in game 2 of Alliance versus Mousesport. Alliance up 1 game, and they're drafting the last support. Is it going to be the EGM Windrunner, or is it going to be something else?
I would love to see like a Lion pick right here. Lion's like really good versus Lifestealer and Puck. If you can ever get a Hex on them before they blow their defensive cooldowns, then it's really nice. The only problem is he's like super level dependent. There aren't too many supports left in this pool. THD, as you mentioned before, very good follow with Magnus, but the options are very limited. Bane already banned out, Nyx already banned out, and we see an Enchantress from Alliance, most likely paid by Aki.
So Alliance is going to be very defensive early on. EGM is going to be basically babysitting Anti-Mage, and of course Aki is going to be defensive jungling up. Maybe they're going to go for some quick level 6 on Enchantress. DPS is quite respectable, especially if you're going to have traps helping you, and of course Magnus most likely on that solo long lane. One thing I really like about this Alliance matchup, or line team, is that they could go early game if they wanted to do so. It's not out of equation for Anti-Mage, for example, to go, for example, Vanguard Vlads and just straight up take the fight to you. Or if they want to go late, they definitely can with Empower. And we all know what the Battle Fury build could do for the Anti-Mage late game.
Yeah, so I think, let's see. I think they should probably pair up the Darkseer versus the Anti-Mage and try and shut down this early farm. But in reality, both of them would work, whether it be a triple lane or the Darkseer. Nyx is decent at shutting down Anti-Mage's farm. Anti-Mage is like such a passive hero early. He has very good defensive abilities with Blink and with Spell Shield. But I mean, he's not going to die, but they need to try and do something about that because Lifesteal is really good early game. And you don't want to just throw that advantage to waste and just let AM farm like a 13-14 minute Battle Fury.
Yeah, what Black was talking about is that Admiral Bulldog selected the Templar Assassin, and after they picked, they swapped through a little bit of a cheesy mind game to say, hey, maybe I'm going off lane, but Black on top of that. Meanwhile, we're waiting for Cinderin to come back, and what was his last hero?
Keeper of the Light.
Keeper of the Light. So you were talking about the possibility of going on the offense. I think I like it a little bit more, simply because it allows your 2 supports to roam into the jungle and perhaps even shut down Aki really early. And this is pre 30-second creep spawn. But on the same token, it's a lot riskier as well. You could get easily backstabbed and killed, and if you, for example, lose 2-3 kills on that offensive tri lane, it's done. It's done. Like, you're gonna be suddenly put in a huge disadvantage. I generally don't see Black being put on the offensive tri lane because that's not exactly Mouse's playstyle, but it's definitely not outside his repertoire. He could definitely do it.
I think regardless of what the laning is going to be, Magnus is going to have a very difficult time wherever he may be. I severely doubt he'll be middle versus the Puck, but even if he is, Puck generally does fairly well versus Magnus, but I don't think he'll be there. He'll most likely be one of the side lanes, either versus a triple lane, which he will not be able to stand up against, or versus a solo Darkseer, and Darkseer will just be able to put out tons of pressure on him with that Ion Shell, just destroying melee heroes in the early game.
Yeah, double Ion Shell against melee, good luck. So yeah, we'll wait for Cinder and come back and see how the laning stage is going to come back to. In terms of draft, who do you prefer here? I think both team is very well rounded, especially a little bit with the anti-mage and the enchantress follow up to Alliance. You think Mouseport maybe have better team fight with the coil as well as wall, or do you think it's the S4 Magnus?
I think they're both like evenly well-rounded, but I think Mouse has a better laning phase, and I think their lineup is better simply because of that. Magnus is going to be a liability for them, and although Enchantress will be able to put out some pressure, the passivity that anti-mage usually like goes through in the early game, I mean, I don't think it's going to be a good early for them. Nothing like last game, at least. So I'll go ahead and introduce part of the lineups for Mouse. We have Keeper of the Light, Cinderin, the captain playing that. We have Fada on the Puck like we saw last game, most likely solo mid. Koikva, most likely to solo Darkseer. Black on Lifestealer, and Paz as the support Shadow Demon.
Yep. Meanwhile, on the Radiant side, S4 Drafter solo mid on the TA, EGM playing the support Rubik. Right. You have Loda on the Anti-Mage, Aki playing the jungler once again, this time on Enchantress. Armor Bulldog seems like he's going bot here, although that could always change. It's going to be on the Magnus. Yeah, Anti-Mage is going here as well. Look at AM, just straight up pull Tango. Don't need to spend anything. This is something that Loda always loves to do. He gets pulled the Tango, he buys 3 GG branch. It looks like the courier is slowing down. It looks like a Stout Shield has been purchased. But he wants to see what the lane is, and he could just straight up get basically a huge Midas rush. Very, very greedy play, and it often is not punished because sometimes you just, Darkseer versus AM. AM should be fine in this lane, I think. If
so Mouse varying up a little bit and doing Darkseer in the triple lane instead of the safe lane Nakes, or instead of the triple lane Nakes. So a little bit unusual from them, but I think it's still a good choice. Darkseer being able to shut down Anti-Mage's farm is really key for them.
Yeah, this is, I think, something that Team Liquid did in today's game. Maybe game 3 or something like that, where they send the Darkseer with a couple other heroes, at least to start out, and then maybe the Mouseport supports will roam up top if necessary. In terms of a 1v1 matchup, Magnus against Lifestealer, I think Lifestealer may have the advantage, but it's pretty much a wash, I want to say.
Maybe we will see Mouse do like this sort of bait thing where we see them blow a couple spells on Koikva as a Darkseer, maybe telekinesis into like enchant from the Enchantress, and then these 2 supports pop up. We have seen a couple teams do that where the 2 supports hide in the secret shop, or the side shop rather, not the secret shop.
Ooh, EGM, well, whatever surprise, it's gone now as they have seen the support rotating in. I think they're trying. Couple of physical harass, no kind of initiation power anywhere, so I wonder if this lane is more built towards staying defensive, staying safe, and allowing your allies, or allowing the enemy to pull, and if they do pull, you seal it with things like Shadow Demon Poison, as well as Illuminate. They are going to ward off the pull camp for now, and Koikva, yeah, I guess they just want to play passive and apply a ton of pressure on Loda. Loda finally got those tangos, as well as Ring of Protection, and even a Stout Shield on top, so staying very defensive.
Yep, Aki looking to put some early pressure. He does have a smoke in his inventory, and he places a sentry over here, but it will not see any of the wards that have been laid down by Mouse yet thus far. Yeah,
very good ward coverage. For example, this one being placed by Cinderin, not only give you the rune spot, but it will also block off this camp, so some decent warding from Mouseport. Meanwhile, on the mid lane, it's going to be a 1v1 matchup on TA versus Puck. TA should win this matchup, given the fact that he or she does a lot more physical right-click, harass better, denies better. On the top, it's going to be kind of passive farm here and there. I'm going to give Black the advantage, but it's going to be very slight.
Yep, he does have a Coiling Blade to aid in that physical damage war, especially with Magnus going the Empower first build. He has plus 11 damage from that Empower, so 70 damage for him, a little under 70 for Lifestealer. That Quelling Blade will definitely help him in the last hitting war that will most likely be top lane.
Yeah, I mean, Amarashi got for Skewer too as well. I thought he would just go for Shockwave and start spamming Wave. That's going to be an indication of the fact that he will not get too much bottle curling. In fact, that's going to be reserved for S4 on the mid lane. And going to be slow rush to that Arcane Boots. Enchantress coming in with the creeps. A little bit of harass here and there. Enchantress not able to get too much. He, however, does find a Centaur though. So I think Synderen could be in big trouble. If he gets lifted, he's basically dead. Let's see.
Black is absolutely crushing Magnus in last hits. He is 11 and 8, so 19 total, and Magnus only has 5 last hits. So this Quelling Blade is just doing massive amounts of work, and that's without the wave that's at the tower right now. So Black definitely farming the farm that he needs.
Centaur getting position is going to get a stomp on Pos, and you can see that Loda's going to come right in, but EG in bigger trouble. There's a lift and toss him backwards, and the surge being used on Koifa. Koifa and Loda tangled up a little bit. The go on Alliance not doing too much. Normally you say, hey, Mousesport's doing offensive tri lane, they're not getting killed, they're going to be disadvantaged. But if you really look at it, it's really a defensive tri lane that's not getting the farm out of the jungle. Aki finally revisiting the camp. It's almost 3 minutes, and he's only level 1 and soon to be level 2. I don't think Aki is getting as much as he normally does in the jungle, and that's going to turn out to really hurt them. Enchantress, really a poor support. If you don't get a quick, for example, level 6, those army is going to be effective for the next 5 minutes or so, but it really will taper off because unlike a Chen, you don't get the global heal, you don't get to retain your army, and really you're less effective in the next 5-10 minutes of the game.
Yeah, and he doesn't really have any good lanes to gank. Yeah, sure, he can smoke and travel, but what is he going to do? Gank Black, who has Rage or yeah. Gank Puck, who has Phase Shift and Lucidor? It's just very difficult for him to actually do much early game. He tried to gank bottom one time, but they have a very, very strong triple lane, and AM is not in any sort of position to play aggressively.
Yeah, in retrospect, really smart laning decision by Mouseport here. Solo Darkseer can be definitely ganked if you have the right creeps, but not this lane. Defensive Disruption, they have a ton of movement speed, and of course, Koifa already level 2, so he has access into the Surge. D-Ward action coming out immediately.
Yeah, they're setting up for aggression. He does have 3 creeps. Furbolg will be expiring soon, and Pos is left the lane. This might be the time.
Yeah, especially if you go on Cinder, and Surge does not help if you net it. You can see Loda coming right in, body block, very beautifully done. The net's going to be right there. Koifa is perhaps going to give us life. It's going to be the lift. Lift is right there. Who's going to get the first blood? It's going to be Enchantress. Very nicely done. They needed that one there, and I just love the aggression that Loda displayed. Blinked for body block. Again, most people think anti-mage, not exactly aggressive, but he can be aggressive when he needs to be. Of course, now he has his Tranquil Boots. Should be able to kind of sustain the harass. In fact, they want a little bit more. Another stomp comes in from Synderen. Synderen taking the damage, but Koifa TP's back in. He should be fine now.
Yeah, I feel like they should have played more defensively. They saw the root killing this ward, and usually that means aggression, and either they need one of the supports to stand like a little bit to the top right to gain vision of the area, or just back off as a team. Pos wasn't there to save him with a defensive disrupt during the disables from the Centaur creep and the Troll creep, so a little bit of miscommunication over there.
Yeah, small mistakes like that really will turn the tide of this lane. Suddenly, you can see that after one kill, they're playing a little bit more defensive. It's not like Darkseer is getting a ton of farm or levels. He's got 21 CS, which is nice, and of course, that's over the anti-mage, but when you expect a tri lane, you expect him to get a ton more than that, and so far, he's not doing it. But on the top lane, it's a different story altogether. A ton of denies on Black, showing why he's probably considered one of the best carry player, one of the best last hitters in the West. In fact, he's driving Admiral Bulldog a little bit off the lane here.
Yeah, he's one full level above Admiral Bulldog, already with Phase Boost, Orb of Venom for that super chasing power against the Magnus, especially now that he doesn't have RP.
Yeah, you could actually definitely abuse that Phase Boost on the long lane, or one of the silence when you could chase for a lot longer. Loda taking a ton of damage here from those Iron Shell. Doesn't really care too much considering the fact he does have the Tranquil. And so we're going to see a little bit of TP. Was that TP in sight of Anti-Mage? I think it was.
I'm not sure about that, but Admiral Bulldog looks like he is going to be checking top room and will not be vulnerable to this gank right now.
And Koifa just comes out and gives it away, so I guess they didn't assume that they're going to get too much out of it. Is it going to be a straight up lane switch? It is. And now that he's level 6 with a ton of levels into Rage, and as well as Phase, you could just actually just kill anything he sees. EGM's on the left. No, he's going to straight up go on the Loda and start harassing him away. This is a kind of an interesting lane switch. We don't see it too much in pro game, but we're going to see a little bit of engagement right here. EGM gets caught. He's done, but there's going to be the net. That's going to really slow him down. He does get a ward kill at the very least before he dies. Black, though, will get that kill. Immediate D-ward coming out from Synderen as well.
Yeah, that is a very unusual lane switch, but I guess they need that. They think that Koiko needs levels. He is only level 4 at this point, and that's not really where you want to be at a Darkseer. You don't really need farm so much on Darkseer early as you need experience, and really you need those early levels of vacuum and those 2 points in wall to do a lot of damage mid game.
Yeah, and to be honest, even the fact that he's like 1 or 2 level behind, he should be able to handle Admiral Bulldog fine. In fact, you can see that he's literally driving him off the lane despite being down 1.5, 2 levels now. And he's going to catch up quite quickly as well. Black still harassing away on Loda. Loda's got half of Black CS. And look how aggressive Black is playing. Doesn't care that he's tanking at the tower a little bit. He just want to make sure that Loda doesn't enjoy the free farm. A very smart lane switch. It worked out quite okay here for Mouzsport.
Yeah, and although top lane is going heavily in favor of Mouz due to Lifesteal having 47 last hits, mid lane's a different story.
Yeah, he uses Orb, but he's going to go out completely on the other direction. Tower focusing, and he's going to straight up TP out. Meltrike's got a hit, and maybe he hesitated a little bit on the TP, or he could have just walked away from the tower, or phase first before the TP. I thought he would have made it out there, but a little bit too slow on that one.
Especially with no stuns, he had 2 verbal creeps, unable to interrupt the TP from any of those 4 units there.
Yep. Looks like smart rotation coming from Keeper. They realize that push is going to come through, and that's going to allow Synderen to get some very much needed experience. And Black is going to be left alone. Normally you say, hey man, he's in a somewhat of a compromised position, but I think Black is absolutely fine. It'll take so much to actually get a kill. You definitely need an RP, and probably need Enchantress Troll Creep, and I think Black could survive here enough, and he alone will shut down Anti-Mage from farming. Speaking of Anti-Mage, he realizes that as well. He's going to switch up the top lane. It's a very, very smart move, and that's going to force Loda to go up top. Meanwhile, though, Enchantress finds a solo kill on Keeper in the jungle.
Yeah, I mean, he is already level 6, and S4 is going the Trez build. We saw the ever so ubiquitous phase Blink build that was popular a few months ago, and it seems like most people are switching to Trez nowadays.
Yeah, Trez phase, a little bit more stat heavy, giving yourself a little bit more chasing power, as well as your allies more chasing power. Black's going to go into the enemy jungle and start farming it up as well. I think Black is starting to really get out of control. Not so much in terms of his item progression. In fact, Mouzsport, I think maybe S4 in a little bit of trouble here, especially if Black's going to come out. Ooh, he's letting the side blade jump on top of Shadow Demon. They'd be okay, though.
Yep. S4 still does have the potential to do a lot of damage to Black, though, even if they do get a lot of farm in. Putting a lot of pressure on this top lane, trying to drive Keeper the light away.
Meanwhile, EGM is about to get 4-shot, 5-shot. Yep, EGM throwing out a Fable, trying to get some CS, but more teleportation going up top. They do see Enchantress. Enchantress is going to be running away. AM blinks back out. At the very least, they drew a TP from Synderen. TPs are very expensive. Especially for supports. Synderen is very bored. Does have a boost of speed at the very least, but no early mech that you see Keeper of Light that normally has. We're about 10 minutes in the game. Quickly checking out the go graph. It's going to be a 1,000 go Radiant lead. Net worth, as you expect, Black really, really ahead, even over S4 here. As such a passive game, Loda really forced her to switch lane again. Again, I mean, we know that Alliance will play passive this game because of the heroes they picked up, and it seems like they're not really being punished by Mouzsport too much, at least at this given moment. And I think Loda and his team is quite okay here. A very passive and very even mid-game.
A lot of aggression from Enchantress really just sped up the farm by Anti-Mage. He was in a pretty deep rut in the first few levels, but those couple kills and, you know, Alliance is right back on top.
Yeah, he's going to open up with the Claymore, so getting a little bit greedy. Ring of Health should be the standard item, but since he has the Triangle Boots, he's going to be fine. Looks like they're going to set up a gank on Koifa. Does have level 2 Surge. Maybe they're going to go him right here. Skewer, RP, right there into a jump. Fable, they don't even need a lift. Or will they? Nice magic wand pop. Loda's going to have to use it. No! Fogged! Fogged! And now Bulldog. Oh, Bulldog's going to be fine. The orb should hit on Bulldog. It's going to juke. Gonna come in. The jukes are so strong right now. Lift him. And Fada's going to go down to... Finally, the Illuminate does clean him through. 1-for-1 trade, Bulldog for Fada. I think that was fine, but they really wanted Koifa. The magic wand was huge there, and I think perhaps Loda wanted to save that Mana Void and ultimately kind of bit them in the butt right there.
Yeah, look at Loda's build. He actually does not have any points of mana break. This is actually what we see sometimes versus Shadow Demon. He has 2 points in stats right now, 3 points in blink, 2 points in spell shield. Again, no points in mana break. He really doesn't want those disrupt images doing a lot of damage to his own team, but I think with a little bit more firepower there, they would have gotten away with a couple more kills there.
Yeah. Mid tower's gonna face a little bit of pressure. Darkseer in position, but those impetus is just driving him away. Tower is low, refraction getting burnt away by that shield. I think they can defend, especially with Puck in position. Fada had a really quick blink last game and was able to do a ton of pressure on the supports of the Radiant, but this game, kind of a different story. Does he even have his treads upgrade on the courier? He's got nothing. Fada's so poor right now.
Yeah, he is super poor, even poorer than his Offlink Magnus. He is actually 7th on the net worth chart, just ahead of the 3 supports.
Yeah, he's got 31 CS. S4, I imagined that he's going to have the lane advantage, but I didn't know that he's going to win the lane that hard. If you look at S4, he's got his blink, he's got his treads, and they're going to get a little bit more up top. Loda, kind of the big roamer, feels like, and instead of like a hunker down kind of carry. He's going to get the last set on the tower, and that's going to be exactly what he needs to play a little bit of catch up. But aside from Mouz Black, who is very farm for a Lifestealer right now, that's it. Nobody else is moderately farm, especially if you imagine your Puck is going to provide you the mid-game support. He's nowhere near that blink.
Cinderin just gets crushed by S4 on top lane. S4 already completing his blink 13 minutes in. He's looking in really good shape. Treads in, blink already set up, so he's just in prime position to pick off these really weak supports. And setting up these psionic traps in the jungle is going to be even easier for him.
Yeah, I mean, going back to one of the games that we casted Korok's Team Liquid, you're talking about how passive he's been playing, farming his own jungle. Instead, you set S4 here, putting in the traps in the enemy jungle. Just whenever he sees, for example, a low Lifestealer or a low Darkseer, he blinks in, gets a free kill, goes right back to doing whatever he's doing, which right now is pushing that tier 1 mid. There's no response here as Puck also got picked off, and Cinderin just not in position. So Mouzeport slowly being enclosed upon from all sides. Alliance just getting objectives done here and there, getting these tier 1s. Suddenly we'll start be looking to get the tier 1 on bot, and maybe start even looking to Roshan. If you have Templar Assassin with max skill strike, that Roshan is very, very easily done.
So Goldgraph continuing to swing in Alliance's favor. Goldgraph about 4,500 and XP difference about 5,000 at this point, and it will be even greater if Mouz doesn't defend this bottom tower.
Yeah, what do you think that Mouzeport needs to do? Do they need to just farm a quick blink on Puck, or do you think that Black should join the rest of the team and instead of laning and doing kind of solo control, join the Puck, get some Lifestealer bomb going on, win a big team fight, and then try to farm?
I think they need a 5-man because Alliance right now is pretty much just letting Loda farm while the other 4 are going around and doing stuff, and they're not reacting appropriately. They're not 5-man. They're trying to play the farm game against an AM who's going to have his Battle Fury soon, who's going to have Empower soon, and they're not going to win the farm war, especially with this rather lackluster start. So instead, they need to force the aggression on Alliance and either just run around as 5 to counter gank or just smoke up and try and look for some early picks. They need an early blink on this Puck if they want to make things happen. And again, they just need to find these picks and really abuse the fact that Anti-Mage is not that strong early game. Once he gets his items up, he's going to be very difficult. Even a farm next won't be able to take him out very easily.
Yeah, I mean, right now they're not even farming for items that will help you gank the Anti-Mage easier. For example, a quick Orchid or maybe on the Lifestealer. Nor are they farming items that are straight up good in terms of engagement, like a Basher on Lifestealer. But again, like you said, they're just trading farm. Black now up top, just lasting away. If they're waiting for Alliance to commit and push down a tower and make a big mistake, I don't think Alliance would do that. Alliance says, we'll get the towers that we could get for free. Like, if nobody's here to defend or right after we pick off one, then we'll go for the tier 1s. But we're fine trading farm. Our Enchantress is rising away in the jungle, or Anti-Mage is all over the map. Speaking of Anti-Mage, he's got the Battle Fury now for a bit. He just need to upgrade his boots to maybe treads, and then of course pick up that Quelling Blade. And suddenly the Vice Warrior is really in the favor of Alliance.
Yeah, I mean, Alliance doesn't have any pressure to push right now. Enchantress is looking very nice on farm, especially with that going that early Midas build that will suit her very well in the middle late game. And then AM is looking very pretty right now. with the recently completed Battle Fury, as you mentioned, and TA is off to a good start too. So they have 3 heroes that can do fairly well in the late game, whereas Mouz only has Black that is doing decently, and a farm Nyx, again, can't really stack up to a farm anti-mage. So they have this like small window in the 10 to 15 minute phase because Magnus did have a poor start, and once he gets his blink, it's going to be even more trouble. He's at 2,000 gold right now, and I think Mouz really needs to apply some pressure so that they don't get the core items that they need. Battle Fury on Anti-Mage, Blink on TA, and Blink on Magnus.
Again, even though the downtime here for the support for the Radiant side, there's still, again, if you look at the Ancient stack, 3 stack here for the Radiant side, 0 stack for the Dire. Again, Alliance is just always on top of making sure they're abusing the map as much as they can. And yeah, the farm war is already being lost, in my opinion, by Mouzeport. They're down almost a 7,500 goal. Koifa, maybe he just need a key item. He's gonna pick up a buckler, I imagine now. Or is Syndrome gonna pick up the mech? No, he's got no goal either. It just feels like everybody's so poor.
Yep, and I really like the aggressiveness from S4 that we say. You compared it to Korok's rather farmy TA earlier, and TA is not that hero. She's the, okay, I want to get Trez and I can still kill a lot of people with it, and then I want to get my Blink, I want to kill even more people. And he's just pressuring them around the map, forcing them into these very defensive positions. Like, notice Mouse's position right now. There's like 1 hero at the T2, another hero at the T2 and mid, and the other 3 heroes are just like very, very close together on bottom lane. They're forced to stick together because S4 is just constantly finding these kills, just like right now.
Oh man, Fada, he wanted to get the last hit on tower. I'm not sure why he didn't orb out either into his Luger orb. Got picked off. Tower was denied by S4. And again, this is going back to what we were previously discussing. Alliance would not force any issue. They don't have to. They have to late game. But if you hand them these freebies, they will take your kill. Then they're going to transition into a tier 1 push. As soon as your hero is going to come back alive, they'll back off. There's no pressure on Loda and his team to do anything aside from that. Loda, speaking which, 1,000 on the bank. Maybe he's going to just skip the threat altogether and say, once I get my Manta, I'm practically immune. You talked about the lack of really true stuns. And Raining Rift is only the true way to actually get something going on. Anti-Mage, there's going to be a Raining Rift on top. Vacuum, nicely done, but he just links straight back out. Tower is going to get destroyed by the Radiant. And that's it. AM will go back to his farm train. And it's going to be up to Mouzeport to do something.
Yeah, Mouz looks like they're smoking now. They need to really make a concerted effort to defend these towers because as soon as those 2 towers drop, Roshan is just open in the hands of Alliance.
Well, can they actually get a gank on S4? Disruption could be a decent start. Oh, I think S4, I've seen them. Yeah, that's gonna be it. So smoke, oh, open wounds. The poison is actually preventing the blink, but nice trap into a vacuum. S4 about half HP. He gets perch up as well. He's gonna be dead. Where is Admiral Bulldog in the middle of this? He's gonna skewer in RP. That's gonna hit on 2. Fada's low as well. He's gonna drop as well. Ooh, nice face here. Dreamcoil is gonna be on 2 as well. Huge Illuminate comes through, but S4, the deeps are just right there. Black is only going to be a person surviving, but how long will he survive? That's going to be a question. He's going to go into the Cinder trade. The trap's going to get exploded, and he's going to just come out. He needs to come out right now. He does. He's going to get exploded as well. They did kill Loda, but I just don't think it's going to be... Oh, nice blink block here by Admiral Bulldog. Killing Loda's nice, but Alliance's team is... If they lose their true carry, they still have 2 more. In the form of Aki, in the form of S4, and now in the form of Admiral Bulldog, picking up a ton of kill in that team fight.
And they were looking for something there, but the chase just went on a little bit too far. Shadow Demon was trying to get him right before the room, but notice where the fight took place. They wanted to take place in the neutrals for the Radiant, like really far away from that tower, but they ended up chasing over 1 screen away, and that's just like right next to the T1 tower. That's a really bad place for them to fight, especially close to those stairs and just clumping up for the RP. I mean, Mouz has the right idea. They need to look for picks, gain some sort of map control, and shut down Alliance's farm and try and get some early towers, but just this execution of it is a little bit poor.
Yeah, anytime you make a poor decision like that, the next one gets a lot more difficult. Look at the amount of vision. I'm going to go to Radiant Vision right now, and they just see everything. Into the Roshan, you try to sneak that one. Trap's going to be right there. It looks like mid lane EGM, a little bit trouble, but he should be fine. I mean, again, this is the right idea, but because they have kind of failed in previous engagement so much that just giving the Alliance a lot of time to respawn. Koifa's low. If you get Sabash a couple of times, Black's...
badly.
Yeah, they do. They need some vision badly as well. There we go. EGN coming right in. And so far, the trap's going to get exploded. Dreamcoil is going to be dropped onto Silences on EGM, but trap's going to use... They get 1 immediately, but here comes S4 as well as Black. There's a Mono Void that's going to get Puck. And I do believe Loda, though, he's out of mana. Given RP's going to be used only on Koifa. They're going to get Loda as well. Great fight so far here for Mouz Black and his team. Are they going to get off Aki? Nice arm Natago here from Black. He's going to survive through that one. He should be able to arm Natago his way out of this one. He's actually fighting S4. He's going to get a kill on S4. They don't have Sentry, but they do have the huge Illuminate. I don't know how they won that one, but they did.
Sick armlet talking about Black there. He just dodged a bullet there. S4 going all out on him, but unable to pick him off.
They also get a kill on the bot lane here against Magnus. I think now is what they... Wow, Mouseboard just pulling a rabbit out of the hat. And if they get the Roshan, that's going to be a good deal of EXP. That's going to be a huge deal of gold. And more importantly, the Age is going to allow Black to even be more menacing that team fight. I'm completely surprised that Anti-Mage died so fast.
Huge play by Feta there, being able to coil the Magnus, forcing him to skewer away so that he can't get a good RP. Even with that blink, it'll still take a while to get it up, and just picking out that Rupik right away really set them up. I thought things were looking really bad for them since they were almost at half HP from doing Roshan, but they came back really strong on that.
Yeah, the great power of focus fire, like you said, from Fauda, and more importantly from Black, Arm Natago to survive through that one. If Black, for example, died, they would not have got the Roshan. They wouldn't. Ooh, Black. Oh my god. Nice rage there. Well, the Aegis being used like that was probably the worst thing ever that could happen. But yeah, I don't want to say Mouseboard is right back in this game, but they're definitely in a lot better shape. They're still down by a ton of gold, but now down to about 5,000. A sign of life. I did not expect them to have this kind of comeback. And if they play perfectly, they definitely could find a foothold in this game, but it's still an uphill climb because guess what? S4 is ridiculously farmed. The long lane Magnus almost has a mech finish. Anti-Mage farming this huge ancient stack. He's got himself a Vlad's, which allow him to continue to play this aggressive style that he's been playing so far. I'm surprised that he did not go for Manta though, because he's been dying a little bit too much for my taste.
Yeah, they really wanted the early Roshan with that Vlad's, but unable to do it. That's pretty much the only reason you really want to get an early Vlad's on Anti-Mage, especially when you have such good farm that Loda has. Like, you can just power farm with Empower and just, like, farm a Manta in, like, easily, like 6 or 7 minutes. But usually you want to reserve that Vlad's, unless, of course, you want to go for that early Roshan, and Mouz just sweeping it from under their feet.
Yeah, and they really took him by the surprise in that team fight as well. Mid lane, though, looks like they want to put a ton more pressure. They realize that Anti-Mage really not in a truly fighting position. Rage, I think, being stolen from Black. Tier 1's gonna go down. Anti-Mage doing the very smart thing. Noticing that he can't join a team fight. Gonna straight up force a TP and blink straight back out. Fada, does he have his blink yet? He will have it very soon, especially with the tower being destroyed on the mid lane, and he's gonna get a wave or two on the bot. Unless he gets picked off here. There is blink RP. This is a very good time to actually pick off Fada.
Yeah, Koifa is actually very rich. He has mech, arcane boots, and 1,600 gold. I don't know what he's going for next, but let's keep our eyes out on bottom.
Who's really rich?
Koifa on Darkseer.
Oh, I see. He's got the mech, like you said. Maybe. I personally like blink quite a bit on Darkseer, especially when you need to charge in and initiate through all these traps, all these ways for them to slow you down or see you or stun you. But we'll see. The standard mostly is going to be Shiva's Guard, which is also a really nice item pickup. Again, Black showing signs of life, but historically, the Anti-Mage is by far the latest hero in this game. So we'll see how Alliance want to take it. What's going to be their playstyle in the next 15 minutes. And Black is grouping up with the team once again on the top lane. Looks like Syndran's going to TP back and slow down this push. Meanwhile, I think they're going to get this tier 1. And this should be able to defend the tier 2 as well, especially with Blinding Light available, as well as Glyph available. A teleport going to come in. S4 should blink out safely, though.
Yep, they are also putting pressure on bottom, too, though. That tower is going down fast with the Empowered AM.
Here comes a Surge Koifa with the Lifestealer inside of them. So pretty good defense here coming out from both team. Unfortunately, tier 1 did go up on top. But again, I feel like nice vacuum against S4. S4, where's the net? The net's not going to be right there. Anti-Mage comes in. He's got the double damage. S4 said RP gets cancelled. I thought that was a great RP, considering the fact that there is a double damage on the Anti-Mage. Egeon's going to try to TP out. He's going to make it back home. Rage TP from a support Rubik. Unfortunately, there's no Roshan for them to claim right now. Another kill going against S4. S4 playing beautifully so far. But starting to get a pick off here and there. Loda gonna get that tier 2 tower. There's no glyph available. Yeah, and there's no really true stun from stopping him from going away.
I guess he got a little bit greedy there going for the rim because he definitely saw the Darkseer over here. I guess he just didn't just didn't know that the Nace was in there. He had the trap right above those Ancients going down their stairwell, so he definitely saw Darkseer coming.
Speaking of those Ancients, Black will be farming away. I say once Black gets his Abyssal, this is kind of truly where Mouz really starts to peak off. Any item that Lifestealer will get will, of course, make him a stronger hero, but it's not going to be a rate of increase, the same rate of increase like Life or Anti-Mage or S4 or Magnus getting those items. So, in my opinion, once they get their Abyssal, maybe go for an Ender Roshan, then they just go for a big smoke gang into a push.
We have seen some Lifestealers go Orchid, but it is not particularly good versus an Anti-Mage who almost has his Manta completed. S4 will get gone on again on bottom.
S4 maybe really overestimating his survival power. The Iron Shell blowing away all those refraction charges. That was simply too easy.
Yeah, wow. And Black still has the Aegis for 1 more minute. This will be another T2 for them, it looks like.
But, AM, this is the hero that we know and love. Or maybe we just know. And Koifa forced to TP. Koifa getting a ton of gold, and he's going to be going for a Scythe of Ice. Perfect item choice in my opinion, especially with an AM was such a late Manta. Black's working on that tier 2 up top. Tier 2 is going to be defended. Aegis is going to be running out very soon. Which, again... AM. Oh, nice Dream Coil on top. Are they going to be Raining Rift? Loda says, come again later on, man. Are they going to still chase on this one? Wall's going to be used as well. That's a couple ultimates being dropped. I think perhaps a small window here for S4 and his team to do something. But Anti-Mage is low. He's going to go back to base and heal up.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think they can keep up the pressure with Nick still holding on to the Aegis. He's very close to Abyssal Blade right now, only 1,200 gold from the Relic.
He's gonna find himself acting in the mid lane. The bashes are coming, dude. The heal may not be enough. He can invest into the Centaur. He does. He gets the kill. Very beautifully done. 3,100. Is it gonna be the straight Abyssal, or you think he's gonna, make a piss off for something else? Maybe a Maelstrom, a full bit of magical damage. The Aegis just ran out, so if he needs a slot, well, there it is.
I would say just an Abyssal, so he can just go ham on the Magnus. Like, being able to pick off Magnus and just prevent him from getting RP off is going to be huge. And Puck can already lock him in place with the Blink and Dream Coil and perhaps a Waning Rift, but you really do need that extra little bit. Again, they're very lacking in the disable department. Keeper, no disables, Lifestealer, none really besides Armlet, and Shadow Demon too. And Darkseer doesn't have any either until he gets his Sheep. So it's really imperative for Mouz to just dodge huge RPs. And Abyssal will definitely lend to that, as well as Sheepstick. And again, this is a sort of a problem to their lineup, but it can be mitigated by items.
Yeah, eventually they'll have it, and the big question is how much time will it take to farm, and how much will Loda get as a result. Loda feeling very aggressive, blinking into the enemy ancient camp. Will take those for himself as well. I think the big objective here for Mouz right now is to farm until the next Roshan comes alive. Make sure they don't give away any kind of needless skills.
Oh, Fada just gets destroyed by Loda. Wow.
Blink couple hits. Why was his mana so low? Was he just farming straight up?
He just used his orb, and then he didn't have he used his orb and then phase shift, and then he just didn't blink, wasn't able to blink out, and Anti-Mage just smacked him for like 250 damage a pop on top of feedback.
Yeah, you were kind of mentioning throughout the draft when we were talking about the Void pickup is that Puck without spells is I call him the paper dragon because he really is. You get hit a couple of times, especially by AM, you're dead. And it looks like they're gonna, because Fada is dead for 18, maybe push the creep wave a little bit further, go into the enemy jungle, steal some of their camps. That's exactly what Alliance is doing. But yeah, the objective is try not to give away kills that like Fada just did. Farm until Roshan come back alive, and then make sure you get the, for example, wards up there. Go for a big gank and get that Aegis and go for the win. I think that's really where Mouz, despite being down right now by still 5,000 gold, that's their best chance of winning this game.
Yeah, Loda is starting to become a very big problem. Already Manta complete at 2,600 gold after getting a couple hundred from this tower. So he's looking in fine shape right now. And I'm not sure what he was really going to go for next, but it looks like we see a smoke and then we'll get some action. Heart is pretty good, but it's not the best choice for his Lifestealer, who was just Lifestealed away. And we see a Nake's bomb inside of Fada right now.
It's going to be such a sick bait. I mean, Anti-Mage think he's going to get that one kill. Using Orb in sight, EGM going for the lift. Yeah, he thinks they're fine. Here comes a big Lifestealer bomb phase. They gotta get the Waning Rift off, and they gotta focus on Bulldog. Where was the Rift? Buyback comes in, but Black really being caught out. He is dead. Oh no. Rift was not casted, and really that hurt them huge. That's gonna force out buyback from Puck. Black's gonna be dead because he just finished Abyssal. I think that might have just cost him the game. Koifut's gonna get caught out, and he's gonna get blown apart as well. What a rare, but a devastating mistake against Mousport.
Yeah, I mean, S4 has died a couple times and just gotten picked up, but they have not been very costly stakes at all. But Black being down for 40 seconds without buyback, this could be a lot of damage on T3. Luckily, they have Keeper Light, one of the best defenders in the game.
My thanks.
Yeah, he's gonna try with things like Illuminate, Blinding Light. Oh, Cinder is getting really far out. He's got to be very aware of the fact that there is a Blink Skewer somewhere on the map. Koifut threatening, dropped off the wall. Trap being dumped out here on the back line. These illusions chasing away. Loda tanking the tower. The Desolator helping them push by so much. Tier 3's dead. 13 more seconds. There is no glyph available. And again, Cinder, and oh, the Skewer is going to catch him. He's going to be dead for sure. That's going to force a fight to come out. The wall, where's the vacuum? No vacuum being used. Loda blinks in. He's going to get purged up. He's slowing down, but a huge amount of void. That's going to get them to kill. Meanwhile, S4 comes in. Nice Ghost Scepter being by Paz. Black is back, and I think they might get the kill on S4. There's going to be the open wound. RP is going to be coming down soon, but the wall being stolen. Nice bash is coming out from S4. Refraction doing a ton of work. He is going to go down. Nice Infest for the kill. Nice bash against Loda as well. They need him dead, and they will get no Manta out, but the lucky bash for the double kill. Dreamcoat's gonna find yet another. Aki's gonna TP out. EGM, let's see if it's gonna have that luck. Bash, not necessary. Triple kill. Roche is back. They gotta get Roche, and they gotta get some structural damage. Tier 2s is gonna have to be the next objective.
Oh, huge defense by Mouse there.
Yeah, it looked really grim after that S4, or excuse me, Puck and Black getting caught out, but multiple buybacks. I don't think Black is brave enough to actually take that fight right now. They're definitely in position, they being a load on his team. But it seems like they have to take this though. They really have to. They need the Aegis.
It's very, very important. They do not have a trap in there this time like last time, but Palace is prepared with Sentry Wars on the, for this. And we need Admiral Bulldog to hit some RPs. I don't believe it was used last fight. I mean, I think it was still on cooldown from killing the Nakes and the Puck, but they really need a big RP if they want to take this Roshan.
And Trap is going to make it ever so annoying. Black's going to open wound and Ray straight up. Tiny window here for the Radiant to do something, but that's not going to be the goal. They want to delay it as long as possible. Anti-Mage has a double damage. He is going to straight up force a Rax. Again, no glyph. They got it somehow. Somebody TP back quick. No, they're going to lose a melee. That's dead. It's done. Wow, what a mistake here by Mouseword. And suddenly S4 says, alright, you TP back. We're going to take advantage of the fact that we have AM forcing those TPs. And we're going to go straight into bid. Orb's going to come in. Scouting that Roche is quite low. And let's see if we're going to have a little bit of sexy Bambo within Fada. He needs to. Anti-Mage blinks in. And that's going to be the Aegis. Just kind of now you see me, now you don't play from Alliance. RP, I heard it. It's going to be used here against Black. Black's low, but he's still okay. He's going to be life-stealing his way back. S4's low as well. Big wall. Vacuum into the low ground. They got to be on the run. Aki is going to get bashed. Abyssal's up. Is he going to use that Abyssal? He really needs to do so. Maybe save. No. First hit bash. Meanwhile, Anti-Mage on the back line doing a ton of work. Aki's low. Aki's going to get raised. He's still somehow very, very survivable. He eventually will be going down. Cinder and the entire Mouseport team is still alive. I'm not sure how they won that team fight. Did you catch the tail end of that?
Yeah, really nice wall there. I mean, they try to burst down Black, but Black is not the target you want to focus down with. Armlet, he has like 2,500 HP, and they were just able to just kill S4. He blinked in and just took way too much damage from the Ion Shell and from Black.
I mean, he got a 2-man RP, right? I was surprised that nobody died during that 2-man RP.
They had a SD Destructor during that. Very clutch move by Paz.
Yeah, and once Black came out of that stun, he is just open wounding. And we talked about the 10,000 goal lead. In fact, Radiant is still leading by 10,000, but Mouseport is the one that's going right in. I'm surprised they're backing up. S4 is back, and of course there is Enchantress on the map, but there's got to be some huge desperation. They have just lost a melee Rax up top, and when against one of the best split pushing here on the game, Anti-Mage, it just gets so much more difficult to win in the game afterwards. Of course, Aegis has been already used, and if you want to quickly look over the items, there is 2 Ghost Scepters, so Lifestealer's effectiveness is gonna start to wane by quite a bit. In fact, I'm surprised. Maybe that was the opportunity to go for the Rax, and they just passed it up.
Yeah, it's too hard to kill Anti-Mage twice, so yeah, sure, you can Abyssal him and Waning Rift, but after that, can you really kill him another time? I think if they did push, they would just get absolutely crushed by Loda's second life.
Yeah, they might have needed some lucky bash or something. Again, they're using Fada to bait. Smoke's gonna be used. There's no Sentry nearby. Although there is one. Do they see the puck? They're gonna blink initiate right on Aki. Aki is a very prized kill. He's gonna heal. Anti-Mage comes in right now. RP, that's gonna be on 2. And the Empower doing so much of a wall to actually counter initiate. Black is in the middle. He's actually running away. He sees Loda. He's gotta hit Loda. No, he's straight up just running. Come on, man, by Black. In fact, he will. Abyssal to follow through. Will Loda survive this one? It looks like no. Yes, he does. He survives. He blinks out. Black is dead. Looks like there is a buyback coming out from Cinderin of all people, but that's it. I just don't think they will actually follow through the momentum. Koifa's gonna give away his life there as well. It looked like a decent team fight overall, especially with the wall follow through and the mech being provided, but Black, I think he was running with Rage on top of him, and I really don't think he should have.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, being able to pick off S4 really early in the fight just really helps. I mean, he stayed alive that fight and was just able to contribute massive amounts of damage because they usually just focus down on locking down Loda. But if S4 is live, you have his huge damage output to deal with. He has Desolator and just like wrecks a lot of the heroes from Mouz. And they weren't even able to take 1 life on Loda. There's still a few minutes on the Aegis, 3 minutes left on the Aegis, and I think they will continue to put up pressure. He will have his butterfly completed as well.
Oh man, once butterfly is up, it's just simply too much survivability. Oh, butterfly is up now. Here's the thing though, do we have time for Lifestealer to farm a Demon Edge into a MKB, especially after that buyback? Or do you just say, alright man, we have so much stacked against us, let's just go down mid and hope for something to happen because they don't think they could win the late game?
I think it depends on whether or not Koifa gets a sheep. If they have sheep, they can possibly focus them down, but you always have to worry about RP. When you focus down a single target really hard, like Anti-Mage, that just leaves you up to really big RPs. So you can't really tunnel vision, and I think it's just a safer play to save up for a buyback, especially with them still being in the game as is. If it was a long shot, it's kind of like Gyro Rapier. You do or die at that point, but I still think they're in this. They've taken a lot of really important fights that I didn't think they could win, and they got some damage on this T3, so they're not completely out of it, especially if they manage to delay a couple more minutes until AM's Aegis is down.
Yeah, if you want to talk about the true late game power of Mouseport, they do have 2 Scythe of Ice Hero. You can see Koifa sort of close to at least the Mystic Staff, and he's going to be 800 go away, but Black, is he going to get found? Yes, he will be. He's going to rage out of it. The traps, RP, solo RP, completely well placed in my opinion, because Black just bought back. He's got no go, but more importantly, no cooldown on the buyback. That's all their damage. How does Mouz defend this one?
Yeah, it's really difficult. I mean, even with Keeper Light, Mass Spam, Illuminate, I mean, with Aegis up.
Well, they're going to have to drop the wall very quickly. 2 Anti-Mage Illusion. Gonna chase on EGM a little bit. Again, they just need to delay for a full minute. Gotta use that Spirit Form and start dropping those blinding lights. Coil, Initiate, that's gonna be silenced to 3. Vacuum Wall, pretty decent fight so far, but Anti-Mage, he just doesn't care. Kills 1 immediately. Hits Purge. His mana's actually running low, but he could still just hit on this tower. In fact, he will just do so. And the illusions of Anti-Mage, as well as S4, he's just being so disruptive in the middle of that team fight. They get the tower. They're working on the tier 3. Aki, S4, Blink Skewer, not gonna find anything though. That's it. I don't think the Dire can come back from this.
It looks like instead of going for the rain tracks, they're just going straight for the T3 on bottom. And Darkseid will buy back, but still 18 seconds until Black revives.
Yeah, Anti-Mage blinking. He sees Cinder, and Cinderin's gonna get blown apart shortly after. Nice vacuum again. The wall, the Fata Coil, the Raining Rift, they're all nice. It's just there's not enough damage output. And not quickly enough. The load is simply too much. Too fat, too fast, too strong. Still has that Aegis too.
Yeah, what a scary Anti-Mage. And I think what really sealed it for them was that DD on top that just annihilated that melee Rex, forced them away from Roshan, and secured the Aegis. That was just a really important play by Loda there to secure this. I want to say victory, but there's still a couple racks standing, and Mouz has not said GG yet.
Yeah, Mouz they're gonna be done once they do say the GG. And again, who knows if the Aegis runs out on AM and AM pulls a bad move or something and blinks in and die. I guess you can only prey on the enemy mistakes at this point. Mouseport still not giving up, farming away here. I mean, Black, to be fair, is just, he's simply insane in terms of damage output. He could basically solo just about anybody, especially if he has an Iron Shell on top. But he's just like a one-man army at this point. We're nowhere near the Scythe of Ice that we've been saying is so important for Mouseport either, so it's tough.
tough indeed, and I mean, Puck is nowhere close. He has 1900 gold, no ulti orb, no mystic staff, no voice stone. He does have a gem in his inventory though.
I'm not sure what that gem's gonna do. If let's say Leicester was at 4k go, I would say, man, it's time to go big. Just get that divine, see what happens. But he doesn't even have that option offered to him. There is a grand total of 2 range racks still standing here. And to be honest, if Loda really wants, he could just blink in and just snipe those. But obviously, he's not going to play so recklessly, especially with Aegis not available on him anymore. I think right now what Radiant is going to do is that, alright, we're going to just wait for the next Roshan, get Aegis up, and just go for the slow siege on those 2 last range racks.
Yeah, I mean, Anti-Mage is very close to having Abyssal and Buyback too, so they don't even need to give Aegis to him anymore. He's almost 6-slotted,
Yeah,
so I assume they'll just give it to S4.
Yeah, he's just stacked out. Loda thinking about jumping in right now. Gonna just push and farm.
I think Mouz had the right game plan at the start, which was to try and shut down AM's farm with the...
A little bit of engagement, but right game plan, but the follow-up during the mid-game was not there. Nice deny here on the... Oh, that's gonna be mega creeps.
That kill from Aki just really just devastated the lane, and...
One-man RP, that's all they need, focusing on Black. Black, does he have the buyback? Still surviving, he's gotta actually just lifesteal his way back. He's gonna turn around on S4, S4 gonna get melted. Alright, so pretty decent fight so far, but what are you gonna do against the anti-mage problem? As anti-mage, those illusions actually do a ton of work against Aki. They're holding, but the damage has been done, the mega creep is up. Where's Loda throughout all of this? Loda finds it. Actually, he's getting a little bit bash. Black is doing some big RG and Dota, but... And Fata's still alive. Fata's got phase as well. He does phase. Black's gonna have some sick life steal. No, he finally dies. The one-man army has been toppled. And Loda will be destroying the rest of his base. GG gets called out. And Mouzeport put on a good fight. I really thought they were out of it for a long time, but they won one team fight after another. In fact, they were threatening to get the melee racks on the mid lane, but it was simply not enough. It was just not enough.
Yeah, Alliance proving why they are a top contender and a direct TI3 invitee, taking Mouz down 2-0 in a very convincing fashion.
Yep, and that's going to conclude our We Play broadcast today from Beyond the Summit. He is Merlini, definitely check him out on his stream, and of course I am Luminous Inverse. I hope you guys enjoyed the broadcast. Alliance wins over Mouz 2-0 in a clean sweep, and in a convincing fashion like Merlini said. We'll be back for more We Play action tomorrow. Of course, I believe Merlini will be joining me there as well. That's correct, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right. So more Merlini action tomorrow as well. That's it. Thank you guys for joining us for this long broadcast. And hope you guys will stay tuned for the rebroadcast. If you guys missed today's Team Liquid versus EG, what a best of 3 in there as well. And yep, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We are done. GG guys.